Cardio will rob us of all of our gains. We know we're supposed to do it, but we don't want to. But it can be something you're looking forward to and doesn't have to be this crazy slog. Well, good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you again. We got a great looking push day ahead of us today. We're going to be busting out some dumbbells, doing some fairly heavy pressing with them and some good rep ranges as well. And we'll see what we can make happen with those. It's been a minute since we've used those. Thinking about busting out the mad spotters as well. Give ourselves a little bit more ease and grace with getting those heavy dumbbells set up into place. Not quite sure where we're going to take the overall weight of those just yet, but that's part of the adventure sometimes. It's just figuring out exactly where the weight lands on any given day. We've been doing the incline barbell presses, which have been fantastic, and with today's workout, we're going to be slotting it in right there as our second exercise before we do our shoulder presses and after we do those cuffed lateral raises that I love to start this workout with. Those cuffed lateral raises should get us nice and warmed up and get everything really feeling pretty comfortable before we get into that slight incline dumbbell press. We're not going to take it into a high incline press. We'll be at about a 20 or 30 degree angle once all is said and done. And we'll get the dumbbells probably keyed in, I'm thinking around 100 pounds, maybe give or take 10, maybe even 20 pounds. I don't think we'll get up to 120, but we may get up to 110 on those heavy dumbbells. We'll see. We'll see where the wind takes us here. Outside of those things, though, it's going to be a pretty normal workout. We're going to be ending with some cable crunches, and then later today, we've got some cardio to do as well. And I want to talk to you about cardio today, too, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about cardio and the role it can play in your overall workouts. That is, we're going to have to talk about cardio being a gains goblin. But let's get set up and started with these cuffed lateral raises first. I'll see you over there. Those are feeling a little bit more tough this week than they did last week. So we're going to drop the weight. I'm actually going to drop it down to 15. It's at 25 right now. I'm going to drop that down to 15 and really just focusing on controlling that all the way up and down. I feel like, even though I'm not using my body to lift it up, it feels like it's too much effort to be lifting it up with some good extension at the top there, and then I'm not getting a full extension. And we'll see how this feels. And then the last set, we have two more sets here. If it's feeling too light, we'll up it for that third set. This is only our second set. And on the third set, I'm planning to do some long length partials as well. So we'll get some extra volume in there one way or another. Good, I like that. Man, that's a really good weight. I want to up it a little bit, but not too much. We can't load the pulley too unevenly. And I'm not sure that I want to add 5 pounds on there to make it 20. I'm going to grab these 1 1/4 pound weights and hang them off of there just to get that extra 2.5 total pounds. And this will bring us up to 17.5, plus or minus. Let's see what that does. Got the little guys here. Pretty nice. Sometimes. Very rarely. Let's see what we can make happen. partials. Okay. All right. I'm glad we did that. This weight's good for us. Let's do this other side. Partials. Yeah, I don't know about re-racking those when you're still under them. Not sure I'm a fan of that. I think I'll just bring them down from now on and then put them up there manually. All right, that was 85. We've keyed up 95 on these now. 85 felt really good, really strong. So let's see if 95 moves just as smoothly. Yeah, that was good. Whew. When we're in the gym, we rarely think about cardio. At least I would wager most of us are not thinking about our cardio when we're lifting weights. But cardio is one of the most important things that we have to be doing nearly every single day, even if we're not lifting that day. Now, the American Heart Association recommends 75 to 150 minutes per week with regards to heart activity exercise, meaning getting an elevated heart rate. And that 75 to 150 minutes is based on essentially how hard you're exercising. Now, weightlifting is a lot of, ups and downs. It can get pretty high sometimes when you're doing those heavier sets and those final sets, but overall, you're not going to see it go too far and above that second heart rate zone or that third heart rate zone, depending on the type of exercise you're doing. Now, if you're doing more HIIT style stuff, CrossFit style stuff, any kind of interval training where you're just going nonstop with minimal rests or very short rest periods, that's obviously going to give you an increased heart rate for an extended amount of time, and that would certainly qualify you as somebody doing some kind of elevated heart rate activity for an extended period of time. But more often than not, when we're just lifting weights, we're not getting the type of heart activity that we need that the American Heart Association is recommending. Most of us guys and gals need at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day, depending upon how many days a week you're doing it, of just specific cardio training. And what I mean by that is walking on the treadmill, doing the elliptical, spinning on a bike, doing the Stairmaster, swimming, some sort of outdoor running. Those are going to elevate your heart rates enough into that second or third heart rate zone to get your heart moving enough to really start exercising it on a regular basis. We need at least 20 to 30 minutes, 5 to 7 days a week to really exercise our cardiovascular system, keep our heart healthy, and make sure that we're doing it justice as well. Because just like all of these are muscles on our body that we're trying to grow, our heart is a muscle that needs to be exercised as well. And we certainly don't want to grow it. That wouldn't be ideal, but we do need to be exercising it so that it can continue to grow in endurance. And when we do that, we're going to be able to have better overall effectiveness, efficiency, and strength in the gym. Third setting, 95. Come on. Now, cardio can come in a million different flavors. Some people could do some pretty intense walking in their neighborhoods, if they're really hilly or mountainy, and get the cardio that they need. Regardless of what we're doing though, we want to make sure that we're not overdoing it or underdoing it as well. These fitness bands can be great, but they are highly unreliable. There have been some studies that have shown that these things could be off by as much as 50% sometimes. Not for consistent periods of time, but let's say on average they're 20 to 40% off. That's a pretty significant margin to be off when we're measuring our heart rate. The reason these wearables can be off the most is that they rely on two things to be consistent. Number one, to be in a consistent spot that's not moving and shaking. And when we start sweating and exercising, these bands, no matter how tight we have them, are prone to slip around. It's just not ideal when we're talking about measuring a heart rate. Secondly, they rely on optical sensors. And optical sensors can be great when you're stationary, especially. They can be pretty darn accurate, actually. But again, when we're moving around, when our sweat is starting to intermingle there, those readings can get mixed up. Some of the watches and wearables have been shown to be more accurate than others, but overall, they're not going to be the most effective form of measuring your heart rate during any kind of moderately intense cardiovascular exercise. So what do you do? Well, you can upgrade from a wrist wearable to perhaps a forearm wearable. Those have been shown to be slightly more accurate, although they still suffer from the exact same problems as a wrist wearable. But ideally, you're wearing a chest strap. Those chest strap heart rate monitors use electrodes, one on each side of your chest, to measure heart rate activity, and those are going to be much more reliable and consistent in their readings. Now, there are pros and cons. Some people just don't like wearing the heart rate monitor. Totally get that. They can be a little bit cumbersome sometimes, but I find that you get used to them very quickly. I have yet to be able to find a rechargeable one of those, which kind of sucks. They do last a very long time with those little button batteries. I think it's somewhere between like 400 and 500 hours on average for those, but it still kind of is a pain in the butt that I can't find one that would just recharge. I've been traveling before and brought that with me, and it was dying while I was doing my exercise there, which wasn't ideal. Also wasn't the end of the world, but would have been nice just to be able to plug that thing in and not have to worry about it. However, regardless of the pros and cons, it is much more accurate and much more reliable for measuring our heart rate. Regardless of which one you go with and what type of heart rate monitor you use, you really should be using one when you're doing cardiovascular activity, just to make sure that you're not undercooking it, which is probably more likely, but you're also not overcooking it. We don't want to be pushing ourselves so hard that we're impacting our overall strength gains and recovery. And it's not the end of the world if we do too much cardio, but we do have to be feeding ourselves enough so that we're not really taking away from the gains we could be getting in the gym, unless we kind of have some hybrid goal with regards to our overall fitness. Some people do. For example, maybe you're a triathlete, maybe you're a swimmer, maybe you're some kind of athlete that needs a combination of both some level of strength, but also a high level of cardiovascular endurance. That's totally acceptable. Then we need to be getting in more cardio. We need to be doing our strength training as well. We just have to be feeding ourselves. As long as we're feeding ourselves enough, guys, we're not going to be getting robbed by cardio. Cardio will rob us of all of our gains if we let it. But it doesn't have to be a gains goblin as long as we're adequately resting, recovering, and that includes feeding ourselves enough so that our muscles can still grow as well as our cardiovascular system. Let's take running, for example. It would be very easy to consume 500 additional calories by going out on a 20 to 30 minute run, depending upon how hard you push yourself. I push myself pretty hard with my cardio activity most days, especially when I'm out running. It is not uncommon for me to be sitting in that 4th heart rate zone for the majority of that run, if not sometimes even the 5th heart rate zone. If anything, when I'm running, I find it difficult to stay in that 3rd heart rate zone just because I like to push myself. Now, when I'm doing my spinning or elliptical walking, stairmastering, any of those things, it's a little bit easier for me to stay in that 2nd and 3rd zone for my cardio and getting that low intensity steady state cardio, or even that medium intensity steady state cardio. But when we start getting up into those high intensity intervals, those upper 3rd to 4th zones, when we're really just pushing ourselves, cooking it, sweating a lot, well, we're going to have to adequately feed ourselves more than we would than if we were just doing some lower to moderate intensity steady state cardio, getting in the level of intensity that the American Heart Association recommends for us in a given week, and taking care of ourselves, and not just trying to push ourselves so much that we are also growing our cardiovascular endurance capacity. Now, cardio can have many different forms, shapes, and just overall methods of completing it. I personally love two things. More than anything, love that Stairmaster. The Stairmaster to me is the king of cardio. It allows you to just really push yourself with what feels like very minimal activity. I mean, you're not moving very quick relative to a lot of other cardio machines. You're able to just like lean on this machine and really just let your legs and cardiovascular system do the work. It is a fantastic, fantastic cardiovascular exercise, and it pushes you hard. Now, unfortunately here in a home gym, it's not always possible to have a Stairmaster. First and foremost, they can be quite expensive and home gym options are quite limited. However, there are some older Stairmaster varieties that don't have the typical stairs that you might be used to that kind of rotate around like a treadmill might, but are more like single steps that kind of rise and fall with each step you're taking. There's a couple good older models that Stairmaster made that are perfect for the home gym that you can actually snag for like $200 or $300 on Facebook Marketplace sometimes. Outside of that though, if I'm not doing that, I love doing my spinning on a nice bike. I've got a Bowflex bike that I highly enjoy, and setting myself up directly in front of my computer to do some video gaming. There is no quicker way to pass 30 minutes, 45 minutes than playing video games while you're doing it. Now, I know some people like to watch Netflix or YouTube or HBO while they do it. That's all fine and dandy too. I've done that before. I still do it sometimes as well. But for me, grabbing a wireless controller and playing a game is the smoothest, simplest, and truly most enjoyable way for me to do that. Sometimes, in fact, it's the only way I can get any video games in these days. And I don't mind it. I really don't. It makes me look forward to my cardio. It gives me a sense of purpose might be a little bit too far there. It really combines my two biggest hobbies, video games and lifting, exercise. It truly is a great way to combine the two. So if you have a Nintendo Switch or a Steam Deck or one of those handheld devices like the ROG Ally, bring that with you to the gym and set it up there on top of that elliptical, treadmill, Stairmaster, whatever it is you're using. They usually have some kind of surface or book rest, tablet rest that you can prop that thing up there with, and then get yourself some kind of affordable Bluetooth controller. I wouldn't want to hold it while I'm doing it. I would want to be, a little bit away from the machine, but getting a little controller can make the world of a difference. And if I can recommend one for you, I would recommend you getting either a new or used Nintendo Switch Joy-Con pair. Being able to separate those two controllers and have one in each hand, a full controller in each hand, while being able to move those hands all over the place with that and still being able to hold the whole controller is massive. I love being able to do that. When I'm on my bike, it allows me to get down nice and low and have the controllers in my hands, but then I can also sit up when I'm like, not pushing so hard and still have two controllers, one in each hand. And they have the wrist straps too, which is nice for not dropping it. That can make the world of a difference on a treadmill or a Stairmaster as well. Highly recommend looking into getting a Joy-Con. Those are Bluetooth enabled. You can connect those to just about any gaming device these days. And on Steam, if you're a PC game player and you're using your ROG Ally or your Steam Deck, not only can you connect it via Bluetooth, but you can actually connect the extra buttons on the side and use those in your games and map those to whatever extra commands you might need to. All right, final set here. Let's crush these out. Send these shoulders home, baby. All right. Whew. Love playing video games when I'm doing my cardio. Highly recommend it if that's something you're into. But if not, Get a book, bring your Kindle, bring your tablet, watch Netflix, HBO, do something to engage you. Don't be like those psychopaths, and I know you're watching this. I know you're watching this right now. I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to. Don't be like those psychopaths who are just staring at a blank wall, no music, nothing in front of them, and just running uphill, downhill, whatever, for 20 to 60 minutes at a time. That's lunacy. That's crazy. I mean, at least have an audiobook going. Have something going, man. Entertain yourself, though. Cardio does not have to be this slog. Even if you're just going to play a game on your phone, find something to entertain yourself with. It can be an enjoyable activity that you develop some kind of extra routine around. And maybe that activity is something you only do when you're doing cardio, but it can be something you're looking forward to and doesn't have to be this crazy slog of completing cardio. Many of us struggle with doing cardio because we just don't look forward to it, because it's just this extra thing we have to do. We know we're supposed to do it, but we don't want to, but we need to do it. So find a way to make it enjoyable. Find a way to make yourself grow personally and professionally, or just get some extra leisure time in with video games or a book. It can be something great if you allow it to be. But build up the habit, build up the routine, set some sustainable goals for yourself, and get after it. Now, developing a cardio routine is not just a simple little thing. Like any new health, exercise, fitness, or nutrition routine, it can be hard not only learning where to start and what to do, but just hold yourself accountable to it. Stick to that routine and develop some kind of consistency that's actually scalable, consistent, and good for you and whatever your long-term goals are. If that's how you feel right now, like it's this insurmountable goal that you don't know how to grasp or where to start, reach out, scan that QR code, and let me know that you'd like to have a conversation. We'll set up a 20 or 30-minute conversation free of charge to see if my coaching services can help you get on track with whatever fitness, lifestyle, or nutrition goal that you're trying to set for yourself to be better than you are today. Whatever that future vision of yourself might be, let's talk about it. Let's see how and if I can support you in that endeavor, help set some realistic goals for you, impart the knowledge that you need, and help set you on your way down the path that you're wanting to go down and make the change that you're wanting to see for future you. Again, it doesn't cost you anything but 20 or 30 minutes. We'll set up a phone or a video call, get to know each other a little bit, and understand your goals and motivations to see how I can best help you reach those. Scan that QR code or use the link down below, and we'll talk soon. Okay, y'all, we got one more set of these to go, and then we're gonna be doing our crunches and our dumbbell flies in a superset to make the most of today's time. Thanks again for being here. Appreciate you showing up, putting in the work, putting in the effort, putting in the time. Maybe it's going unrecognized in your day-to-day life. Maybe people aren't approaching you yet and going, dang, dude, you've been putting in the work. Nice job. Or maybe you have the opposite kind of support. Maybe you still got people putting you down, trying to pull you back down to where they're at as you're trying to elevate and better yourself. Don't give in to that. Don't let them talk yourself into believing that you're not doing amazing, excellent work for you and your body and your future. Keep putting in that work. Keep putting in that time, effort, and energy. I promise you, it's already paying off, and it's going to pay off dividends in the future. You're doing amazing. I'm proud of you. I really am. Thanks again for being here, y'all. I'll see you next time.